So with an estimated 50,000 volunteers, that was Prime Minister Narendra Modi performing various yoga asanas on the International Yoga Day. And the event, as you can see, has been organized in Dehradun and has been held at the Forest Research Institute, which has also been spruced up, and security across Dehradun has been tightened for Prime Minister Modi, who was welcomed at the Dehradun airport by Uttarakhand Governor Krishna Kant Paul and Chief Minister T.S. Rawat, who we also heard deliver a speech shortly before Prime Minister Modi delivered the speech. And according to Prime Minister, yoga has acted as a force in unifying the world, and also performed various asanas as part of these celebrations today. And you can see he's greeting and meeting all those estimated 50,000 volunteers. And yoga has indeed played as a soft power for India. And it was just some time ago we saw Prime Minister Narendra Modi perform those various asanas for nearly 45 minutes, slightly over 45 minutes. And it's not just Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, but also the Vice President M Venkaiah Naidu and several other union ministers who will also be hosting similar events across the country. It is, as we all know, the 4th International Yoga Day today, and it's important to discuss the relevance of the International Day of Yoga, and it is also referred to as the Yoga Day and is celebrated annually on 21st June since its inception in the year 2015. The International Day for Yoga was declared unanimously by the United Nations General Assembly. And Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi in his UN address had suggested the date of 21st June. As we all know, it is the longest day of the year in the Northern Hemisphere and shares special significance in many parts of the world. It's also known as the summer solstice. And the idea of International Day of Yoga was first proposed by current Prime Minister of India, Mr. Narendra Modi, back in the year 2014. And as we can see, the Indian Prime Minister has not only heralded yoga into his own country, but across the world. And the idea is to take it as a unifying force for the entire world. It's based on the concept of Vasudev Kutumbakam, which is derived from the Sanskrit words Vasudha, meaning the earth, and Iva means is, and Kutumbakam meaning the family, which of course implies that the world is one single family and it is a cosmic organization. And that is indeed also an explanation into Prime Minister Narendra Modi's speech, where he mentioned that yoga is a unifying force and that it is what joins each human with the other, and that yoga can also act as a force in unifying the entire world. These are visuals of the yoga session that was performed in Dehradun just a while ago. From Ratsika to a lot of other asanas and the Surya Namaskar, we saw Prime Minister Narendra Modi along with the volunteers perform various yoga asanas. And let's also move across to some more yoga celebrations happening across the country. I'm now joined in by our correspondent Siddhant Sibal, who's joining us live from the Canada High Commission in Delhi. Let's quickly go across to Siddhant. Siddhant, we just saw Prime Minister Narendra Modi perform all those asanas in Dehradun. What is happening at the Canada High Commission? Please give us a view.
Well, massive celebrations of Yoga Day is taking place across the world, but here in Delhi, the diplomatic community is also doing its own Yoga Day celebration at the various missions, various high commissions, and of course the embassy. I'm standing at the Canadian High Commission, and behind me you can see visuals of the staff, the people who stay here, the Canadian High Commission people who stay here doing Yoga Day, and of course Yoga Day celebrations, but of course doing yoga, and these celebrations are being led by none other than the wife of the Canadian High Commissioner, Mr. Nadir Patel, and we had a small conversation also with the High Commissioner and his wife both, who said that yoga is part of their regiment. They do it on a daily basis, and of course yoga, they said, is very popular in Canada, partly because of the huge Indian diaspora. But if we look at the other missions, where I am standing nearby this location is the American and of course the French embassy. They also are marking Yoga Day, and of course doing yoga, and these celebrations are being led by their respective the chief, the ambassadors, and of course the high commissioners. But speaking about what's MEA's plan, well, MEA is also marking it. There is a separate program for that at the Pravasi Bharatiya Kendra, where other ambassadors and the high commissioners will be shortly joining. Meanwhile, the India's foreign minister, who is on a Europe tour, 4-city Europe tour, will be marking the Yoga Day by doing yoga at the European Parliament in Brussels. Meanwhile, India's president, who is on a 3-country visit, starting from Greece, he is right now in Suriname, where he will be doing yoga along with his counterpart, the Surinamese president. And this celebration, of course, will take place after some hours because, of course, of the time difference. But we can see huge celebrations, and of course, the Prime Minister himself, when he was leading the Yoga Day celebrations in Dehradun just a short while ago, talked about how it's being celebrated from Toronto to Stockholm to Sao Paulo to other cities of the world, right, and even Hong Kong, Asian countries like Hong Kong and other countries. But of course, the focus is on how yoga has been a unifying force today. And of course, the Indian government introduced this resolution in the United Nations 4 years ago on 11th of December 2014, and it was co-sponsored by 177 countries. That's a massive and of course historic in the history of United Nations itself. So it shows how much yoga has been part of the global fitness regime, and it has been institutionalized since then. And today we mark the 4th International Yoga Day, and with each passing day it's only growing in popularity.